Hey, Kyle's Wonderful here again with another wrestling review. This time it's NJPW G1 Climax 32 final from August 18th, 2022, live from the Nippon Budokan. Tonight sees the long G1 Climax journey come to an end as Kazuchika Okada takes on Wilkes Ospreay in what should be a classic tournament final in tonight's main event. What usually is one of the more unpredictable cards of the year. I'm really looking forward to the finals and all the surprises that might set us up for the next few months going into Wrestle Kingdom 17. In the semi-main event tonight, we'll see a preview of the next two. It's not official yet, but presumably the next two IWGP Heavyweight and Junior Heavyweight title matches as the champions Jay White and Taiji Ishimori team up to meet their challengers, potential challengers, Tama Tonga and Kushida. So I'm really looking forward to that one as well. But let's start out at the beginning with an 8-man tag match with Chaos represented by Goto, Hirooki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and YOSHI-HASHI taking on House of Torture, the full foursome here, Dick Togo, Evil, Sho, and Yujiro Takahashi. So after Chaos won the Never 6-man tag titles from House of Torture, with Yo pinning his former Sho, then all of House of Torture being locked in a dog cage alongside with Yano's help. Chaos were probably hoping that they were done with House of Torture, but Evil and Dick Togo eliminated Goto on the final night of league matches from G1 to keep this rivalry burning now. House of Torture might be looking for more revenge and a chance for a rematch to get the 6-man titles back. Chaos will know this and they'll be coming to the match sharp. However, Yo might be a little bit rusty compared to everyone else who worked during the G1 tour. Evil leads the House of Torture team out as the announcer says, well, at least we can get House of Torture out of the way first, which made me laugh. So this should be an interesting match, though. Hopefully with another great hot tag from Yo, who has some of the best hot tag offense in New Japan currently. Goto's great music plays as he'll captain the Chaos side tonight. Goto seems to be second in charge in Chaos behind Okada. Chaos now jumps House of Torture before the match even starts. They knew that House of Torture would have jumped them. So good work by the captain Goto with this game plan. They all now brawl around the ring as Goto and Evil are going to start the match. YOSHI-HASHI then comes in to help, and they take out all the House of Torture members as they come in one after another until all 4 House of Torture are piled on one another, and then the 6-man tags all make the cover at the same time. The referee does not want to count this as a pinfall, and there's a big 7-man pileup to start this G1 Finals event. So Ishii must have gotten taken out during the opening brawl. He wasn't around for that. The match now settles down and Sho tags in, taking control over Goto. Sho weakens the arm of Goto and then tags in Yujiro, who weakens the arm a little more. Then hits a snap mare and a sliding drop kick right to Goto's face. YOSHI-HASHI runs in, but Yujiro gets rid of him right away. House of Torture then throw YOSHI-HASHI into the barricade outside the ring as Yujiro hits a Yakuza kick right to Goto's face. Then Goto battles back with a lariat, and Ishii is able to tag in. He kicks House of Torture off the apron and then knocks Yujiro off the apron as well, making him land onto the other 3 members of House of Torture. The crowd liked that one. So it looks like the biggest crowd of the 3 nights by far. It looks like there's a lot of people in the upper deck. Not quite a sellout, though. Sho then grabs Ishii's foot from behind and allows Dick Togo to get the tag in. Ishii's then able to counter Togo with a backdrop suplex. Yo now tags in and drop kicks 2 House of Torture members off the apron, then hits a sliding uppercut to the back of Togo's neck. Togo then counters Yo and then takes him down with a closed fist punch. Then House of Torture distracts the referee while Goto's using his weapon on Yo. But Yo's able to fight out of this. His Bushiman 6-man tag partners come in and the help. They triple team Togo here. Then Yo hits the direct drive and pins Togo for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Chaos. And wow, they kind of handled House of Torture easily here, just getting the start at the jump at the start, and they never really let go of control too much. So Sho then hits Yo from behind with the wrench, and Yo is now down. House of Torture leave, not too worried about the loss. They're all happy that they just knocked out Yo with the wrench. So the rest of Chaos have to help Yo up to his feet. He's been knocked absolutely silly here. And we're really no closer to finding out who will challenge for the Never 6-man titles next. Maybe it could be House of Torture again, although they didn't get a win here. So maybe not. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. We got our second tag match of the night now. It'll be TMDK's Canine Connection, Bad Dude Tito and JONAH taking on their rivals, Team Filthy, Royce Isaacs, and Filthy Tom Lawlor, with both sides making impressive Japanese New Japan debuts throughout the tour. Both TMDK and Team Filthy have been competing fiercely throughout this G1 Climax undercards, with their last tag meeting seeing TMDK pull ahead in the series. Tom Lawlor and Royce Isaacs could close the gap here on the final day, or the final G1 Tour event. So Team Filthy are out first with big claps from the crowd. Somehow Team Filthy have been some of the biggest baby faces on this entire tour, despite being heels pretty much their entire time in New Japan Strong. Tom Lawlor has also wrote the book on how to cut a babyface promo in 2022. I'm a guy that likes heels, but Tom Lawlor has made me root for him so much during this event. Tom Lawlor just really defining how to act as a babyface in 2022. He's done a great job, and the crowd has really gotten into him, and so have I. TMDK's K9 Connection out next. JONAH still has not been pinned or submitted on this entire tour. Huge Filthy clap from the crowd here for after the introductions. So they just love Team Filthy. Tom's going to start the match out against his new rival, JONAH. Tom tries to take his shorts off here, but JONAH attacks him during that, getting the jump start here. Tom counters and then double teams JONAH with Royce's help. They stay in the ring for a while, but JONAH eventually counters them, hitting a double clothesline. Bad dude Tito now tags in with a slingshot senton. That move has been successfully hit in 100% of every single Tito match. It would have been nice if it was finally countered on this last one. Otherwise, it looks a little too contrived. He just always hits that same move every single match when he gets tagged in. Anyway, Tom counters Tito, then hyperextends the arm over his shoulder. Then Tom applies a hammerlock with the body scissors applied as well, but Tito uses his power to hit an overhead suplex on Tom. Tito's holding on his arm in pain while going on the attack. Tito tries to tag out, but Tom catches him with a nice-looking pin. Tito's just barely able to kick out. Tom then looks for an armbar, but turns it into a pin instead. Tom then applies the filthy forelock, something we haven't seen all G1 Tour. And then, holy crap, JONAH just rushes in and splashes on top of Tom, squashing him. And that breaks the hold, of course. Tom has to tag out right away, but Royce is able to make sure Tito does not tag out. So they have a striking exchange now. Royce wins the exchange, then knocks JONAH off the apron and takes Tito down hard. Royce then hits 10 corner lariats, the short arm version, and then a running corner lariat after that. Tito blocks a deadlift suplex right after that and hits a nice striking combo, ending with an enziguri. Tito now charges in from a 3-point stance, but Royce counters this with a nasty knee strike right to the face. Tito's just barely able to kick out, but he's now dazed. Royce then deadlifts Tito off the mat, but Tito is able to block the move and tag in JONAH, who comes in with a rolling sliding shoulder tackle on Royce, who was sitting in a sitting position. Then Royce gets a boot up on a charging JONAH and is able to tag out the Tom Lawlor, who comes in and applies a cravat on JONAH's neck and hits knees to the face, while Tom then jumps on JONAH's back, applying a sleeper hold here. Royce tags in as that was already applied and hits a chop block to the back of the knee of JONAH. That takes him down. Then they hit a double team, but Tito's able to come in and break up the pin. Now Tom and Tito are brawling on the outside while Royce gets crushed with a body splash tackle from JONAH. So then Tito throws Tom into the barricade and comes into the ring so that they can double team Royce Isaacs here. Then they hit a doomsday blockbuster. That looks great, but Tom's able to come in and break up the pin. Great double team move from the K9 Connection, and a really good match between four guys that have a ton of chemistry together. So Tito now dives to the outside on the Tom. That was also looking nice. Royce then gets a jackknife pin on JONAH. That looked like it was almost going to work, but JONAH's able to kick out. JONAH then counters a move with a spinning thrust kick and a lariat, and then goes up to the top rope, hitting the torpedo splash for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match, TMDK's K9 Connection. And the crowd, again, makes a ton of noise with their mouths, even though they're not supposed to, when JONAH leaps off the top rope with the big 400-pound torpedo splash. The same move that beat Okada. So the crowd just absolutely in love with it. And then after the match, in a big moment here, TMDK and Team Filthy shake hands, ending this chapter of the rivalry that's been going on all of G1 Tour. But I'm sure this will reignite on Strong soon enough, with Team Filthy and TMDK both being on the show. here in United States. So still, it was really good to see four guys that absolutely hated each other throughout this entire tour shake hands here after the tour ends. Great stuff all around. The crowd loved it as well. JONAH then says TMDK is taking over Japan and the whole world. Tito says, if you want us, do you guys want to see us back in Japan? I think so. So hopefully we do get to see that. I really want to see both these teams, if not Team Filthy, definitely Canine Connection in World Tag League alongside Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols. Maybe TMDK has two tag teams, but you never know. JONAH might be offered $5 million a year or something ridiculous like that from Triple H and WWE, which he would be a fool not to take. So we'll have to wait and see what JONAH does after this huge tour here, getting a big win over Okada and wowing the crowd. He's going to be the hottest free agent in the entire world and might just get that huge multi-million-dollar deal from WWE. So we don't know if JONAH's going to be back in anytime soon or not. This could have been the last match in Japan for a while. Now we go to a six-man tag team match. Bullet Club's Bad Luck Fale, Chase Owens, and Juice Robinson taking on United Empire's Aaron Henare, Great-O-Khan, and Jeff Cobb. For the second consecutive night, this trio, this six-man tag match happens with backstage confrontation yesterday, compounding the point that both Cobb and O'Khan and Fale and Owens have dispute over who should be the next to face FTR for the IWGP Tag Team Championships, with competition queuing up from both New Japan in Japan and then Strong in America. We don't quite know who the number one contender for the tag titles are. So no Bullet Club original music this time. The original Bullet Club music, like we heard last time, it was Juice Robinson's music that plays this team out, which is a little bit weird. You might be able to tell, or you might just think, you might think that this is just nothing, or it could be that Jay White has Juice higher in the Bullet Club ranks and did not appreciate the original Bullet Club music being played last night. You never know if it's done on purpose or accident, but that's the beauty of pro wrestling. It could have been something meaningful or just a coincidence that you shouldn't even worry about. Anyway, United Empire come out next, captained by Jeff Cobb, and they look ready for this one. So we know that Great-O-Khan and Jeff Cobb want their tag titles back. But where does Henare go from here? I think he's had one of the best G1s from the people that you wouldn't have expected. You know, there was a couple of people you'd expect to have great G1s. Henare, I think, was at least a top 5 out of everybody out of this big group of people. So where does Henare go from here? It's definitely will be interesting to see what he does leading up to Wrestle Kingdom. Henare and Juice Robinson are going to start this match after it started with a brawl, of course. Nobody really is on the apron here, but then Fale and Owens come in as well. Henare fights off their double team here, and Juice runs over, but Henare takes him out too. So fighting off all three men here. Fale then he hits a huge shoulder tackle that takes Henare right down. Chase and Fale now stand on Hanare's back while Juice is distracting the referee. Nobody was able to come in and help. Henare was stuck in that spot for a while and now is holding his back. Fale tags in, hits huge body punches here, and then tags in Owens. They hit a slow motion double team here. It was kind of bad looking. Anyway, Henare kicks out at 2. Owens takes a few body punches, but the attack on the leg, and then but attacks the leg and tags in Juice. And Henare is in rough shape now with Juice talking trash on his face. Of course, this fires up Henare, who hits some big strikes here and then a big sidewalk slam. Great-O-Khan and Owens tag in both. Okan's all fired up and against one of his tag rivals here. Fale comes in as well, but Chase gets thrown into Fale, taking him out of the ring. Okan then uses an iron claw to hit a big slam. Then Cobb tags in, and they try to hit a double team, but Juice is able to pull Okan out of the ring to stop that one. Chase then counters Cobb, hitting a C-trigger knee strike, then tags in Juice, and they hit a triple team on Cobb. But Cobb is able to catch a crossbody from Juice, turning it into the Tour of the Islands. But United Empire grabbed the other men so that Cobb can get the 1-2-3 on Juice. The winners of this match by pinfall, United Empire. So, I mean, decent match here, but nothing special, however. Neither of the tag team guys that were looking for a big tag team win here got pinned. However, Jeff Cobb does get the big win here. So we'll have to see if that gets them in line for a tag title match. Henare then calls Chase a redneck before leaving. That was funny. And it seems like the announcers have some huge news to tell us at there's going to be huge news at intermission, and there's only one more match away. So I'm looking forward to see what that news is. And I did like the what we get. But we'll talk about that after this match. Fourth match of the night is Los Ingobernables de Japon, Bushi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito taking on Suzuki-gun, Taichi, Zack Sabre Jr., and Lance Archer. So Naito will be coming into tonight's final G1 card, disappointed at another chance of main event, venting Tokyo Dome slipping through his fingers, and like that has already had scheming how to reach that spot in the next 4 months. He's got 4 months to do it. He might take solace having eliminated Zack Sabre Jr. to get there. So this match is going to be full of ill-natured intent and trolling as a result as well. So Archer now storms out and destroys a young lion here. I think multiple dangerous techers join him. Of course, you never know if this is going to be the final match in Japan for Archer. It's not likely, as he said he wants to come back, but you never know. Life happens fast, and at Archer's 46 years old at this point, another big injury like he had recently in the last couple of years could be it for him. So you never know if this could be the last match in Japan for Lance Archer. And then what the heck? Bushi comes out with, like, I thought it was like a giant sunflower mask or something, but I'm thinking it's probably the Mexican eagle head. And then underneath that mask is weirdly, it looks exactly like El Desperado's mask. So it was black with the white skull like on it. It was gimmick infringement at the highest level here. And I thought he was going to wrestle in that, but no, Bushi takes that off and has a third mask on underneath, and that's the one he's going to wrestle in. So big mask display here from Bushi, and maybe Desperado. If he wasn't told beforehand, he might be livid after seeing his almost the same mask as him. So Sanada then comes out, and then Naito, and Naito's a little hesitant to get into the ring because Zack Sabre Jr. is standing there waiting for him, ready to beat him up. So Naito tells him to back up, let me in. And now we see, this is where we see that Bushi had 3 masks on. I thought I was going to wrestle in an El Desperado mask. So that was funny. Archer's just sitting in the corner while Zack's talking trash with Naito now, and Taichi's talking trash with Sanada. Archer's just chilling. Taichi has a glow to him tonight. He must be super excited to end this long tour. And Naito's hilariously mocking Zack. So Taichi then calms Zack down as he's the most level-headed of the 3 somehow. And then Taichi says he'll start the match, and Sanada will as well. So they pop pecs, do some push-ups, have a push-up contest, and then Sanada almost gets a surprise roll-up, winning the match immediately. Then Naito wants in, so Zack tags in immediately as well. They hit a double team on our Zack wants in, but he's not in yet. Naito tags in, and they hit a double team on Taichi. Now Zack runs in, but Naito throws him right back out. Now they show a close-up of Zack's sad and angry face, and the entire crowd busts out laughing at Zack. Things are definitely not going his way these last couple days. Naito goes for the combination cabron, but Zack pulls Naito out of the ring right away, and a 6-man brawl ensues. Zack then attacks Naito on the barricade and works on the neck. Archer rolls Naito in for Taichi to get a 2 count on. Then Archer tags in, and Zack takes more cheap shots here on Naito, who's definitely caught in the Suzuki-gun corner in a bad way. Naito hits some strikes to Archer, who just laughs, an evil laugh here, and then hits Naito, crushes Naito with the pounce period. Zack now tags in and works on the neck, cranks the neck here for a 2 count. Naito's in a big-time bad way. Zack now works a cravat on the neck. Naito's able to get out. They have a striking exchange here, but Naito hits a tornado DDT assisted by the ropes. That takes down Zack. They both tag out, so Bushi and Taichi are now in, and Bushi uses his speed and agility to evade attacks here and hit a missile dropkick off the ropes. Bushi then kicks the knee of Archer, knocking him off the apron, and Bushi dives to the outside on Taichi. That looked awesome. Back in the ring now, Bushi hits a DDT, and as at this point, I was thinking, man, it would be cool if like Bushi beat Carl Anderson for the never openweight title and then defended the title against a bunch of big guys in David versus Goliath matches for a little while, win a couple matches, and it would be fun, and then Bushi could lose. It would just really hammer home the point of the open weight, how it could be a small guy like Bushi winning the title. Anyway, Taichi's getting control, so Naito runs in before that happens. Sanada and Archer now fight on the outside, former TNA guys there. Then Bushi and Naito hit a double team here, and Naito gets thrown into the barricade after that by Archer. Archer now runs in the ring and hits Bushi with a big choke slam. Archer holds Bushi up for Taichi to hit a nasty-looking Yokozuna elbow, and this gets the 1, 2, 3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Suzuki-gun. So wow, then right after, Zack is absolutely destroying Naito's shoulder with a cranking hold on his neck, and LIJ just got absolutely wrecked in this match. So eventually, once Naito gets out and Zack goes in the ring, Naito slides a chair into the ring for Zack, baiting him to have another Rampage meltdown. That was pretty funny. So then Taichi, out of nowhere, hits a sumo toss on the referee for like almost no reason. I don't know why he did that. Anyway, where does Naito go from here? You'd have to definitely wonder. He wants in that WrestleMania spot. So no matter what, he's going to be thinking about that for the next 4 months. Archer then gets on the microphone and says to the adoring fans here in Japan, Japan, I want to thank you. And then Japan is my home, and I will see you later. So nice moment here. We got the real Archer here, the one we hear on commentary. And he got to thank the fans just in case he never makes it back here to Japan. So Archer's music plays, and that takes us to intermission. So now we get our big news. First, we see a video that New Japan is coming back to New York City alongside New Japan Strong and Stardom for a pay-per-view on October 28th in New York City called The Rumble on 44th. Right after that, another video plays, and this one is about Wrestle Kingdom 17. Big news here because it says Wrestle Kingdom 17, January 4th at the Tokyo Dome. Right after that, it says January 5th, New Year's Dash. Wow. So that means Wrestle Kingdom is back to being one day. That is great news, in my opinion. I hate 2-day events. It just confuses things when you go back, like, say, 10 years from now, and you're talking about Wrestle Kingdom 17. Like, who was in the main event? Well, which night? Like, it's just a whole confusing mess. I love that it's back to January 5th is New Year's Dash. It is not a 2-day Wrestle Kingdom, and I love it. So now we can just go back to one time, and then anything that happens on January 5th, you can just say, oh, yeah, and then at New Year's Dash. You know, I say, then at Wrestle Kingdom, this happened, and then at Wrestle Kingdom, this happened, like night 1, night 2. Like, it just makes things easier to have it be night 1. So that is some awesome news right there. The announcers then also talk about Royal Quest 2, which is in England this fall as well. So there's our big events coming up. So definitely makes me think, will Tama Tonga taking on Jay White for the title take place in New York City? It would kind of be a shame for the Japanese fans who followed Tama Tonga for over a decade to miss that match. But if everything that I believe, which is that if Tama Tonga has a great match against Jay for the title, loses, but has a great match, which I think he will, then Tama could probably win the title in 2023 at some point and do that one in front of the Japanese fans. So maybe we'll get Tama Tonga versus Jay White in New York City. Who knows what we'll get at the Royal Quest 2 event, but I'm sure it'll be a big deal. Maybe United Empire or Zack Sabre Jr. with a big event there, or a big main event. So we'll have to see what happens there, but it's going to be a good 4 or 5 months. So let's get back to the action. We start the second half here, 5th match of the night, with another Los Ingobernables de Japón tag team. The other two here are Shingo Takagi and Hiromu Takahashi, and they'll take on Bullet Club's El Fantasmo and Kenta. So with the crowning achievement of his debut G1 being an emphatic victory over Shingo, El Fantasmo has been asserting early and often that he is Shingo's daddy, much to the fury of Shingo, who will be eager to make ELP eat his words tonight. Tonight, he teams with Hiromu Takahashi, who's still disappointed with Phantasmo's move up to the heavyweight ranks, as Hiromu comes into this match as the only junior heavyweight. So nice. Kenta still outranks ELP as Kenta's music plays them out. He'll captain this team. Too bad Kenta just doesn't have better music. His music okay. I like the drum beat in the Kenta music, but the rest is kind of boring. Anyway, I love Kenta so much. His skill and funny personality combines into everything you could want for a wrestler. And ELP is also fun with a lot of skill as well. So this would be a pretty good tag team right here, and I would love for them to go for the IWGP heavyweight tag team titles. A way better Bullet Club heavyweight tag team than Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale, that's for sure. Hiromu now comes out, like I said, technically the only junior heavyweight in this match. Now that ELP has also moved up, we've got 3 people that have moved up, maybe even 4 if Kenta, you want to count that. Kenta and ELP are 2 of the smallest heavyweights. So Hiromu should be all right in this match. Shingo now comes out, and I'm guessing sometime in September or October, we'll finally get, or we'll get a really fun KOPW trophy match between ELP and Shingo with some kind of wild rules for that one. So right as Shingo gets into the ring, he just immediately rushes over and attacks ELP. Shingo's super mad about all this your daddy talk. So Kenta and Hiromu also now brawl on the outside, and that's how we're going to start this match. ELP takes control, but Shingo gets it right back, going on the attack. Hiromu's back up on the apron now as Shingo hits a big combo. Then he tags in Hiromu. They hit a double team shoulder tackle. Hiromu hits a basement dropkick. Then ELP counters, hitting some back rakes, a chest rake, and then more back rakes. So Kenta now hits Hiromu with his book, Ashiato, and it's just a paperback, so it couldn't have hurt that much. Then Kenta tags in, and the crowd cheers for Hiromu to fight back here, but Kenta hits a back elbow, then applies a chin lock. The crowd claps again for Hiromu, but Kenta cuts off the comeback here, pulling Hiromu by the hair and slamming him down hard. Then ELP tags in, and ELP jumps off the bottom rope for a devastating back rake here. Then Shingo runs in, but ELP throws him right out. Kenta tags in while ELP holds the fingers open here as Kenta gives Hiromu a paper cut with his book. And the crowd just laughs at this. That's funny that the crowd just all laughs. Anyway, Kenta gets the book again, but Hiromu blocks the book shot here, and then Kenta gets hit with his own book here. That was not good for Kenta. So Kenta is mad and hitting DDT in response right after that. Then Kenta unloads some stiff chest kicks, but Hiromu catches one of these and hits a dragon screw leg whip. Both men now tag out. Shingo and ELP come up in quickening the pace. Shingo hits a corner lariat, and then ELP hits a back rake. They go back and forth with nice strikes now until Shingo hits a Yukon lariat. Then ELP evades an attack and hits a springboard move. Shingo moves out of the way, however, of a lion salt right after that. Shingo hits a sliding lariat, but Kenta runs in. Hiromu is able to take him out. Then ELP gets hit with a double team, ending with a Hiromu super kick and a Shingo lariat. Kenta breaks up the pin. Now Hiromu takes him out with a missile drop kick from the apron to the outside. Shingo hits multiple nasty elbow strikes on ELP, finishing with a palm strike. But ELP blocks the last of the dragon attempt. Shingo blocks a CR3 attempt, and both men trade quick pins, almost winning the match now. ELP throws Shingo into the referee. This distracts the referee, who misses ELP punching Shingo right in the yam bag, hitting the low blow for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Bullet Club. So right after the match, Hiromu steals Kenta's book. Shingo throws the book here at ELP, but ELP catches it in midair. Nice there. But the cover of the book had fallen off. Shingo rips it in half, and we get a close-up of Kenta's face. He can't believe what he's just seen. He's stunned, and he just can't believe it. The entire crowd laughs at the close-up of Kenta's face. Kenta is just hilarious. So anyway, Kenta goes over to the English commentator, Chris, who has a copy of his book, and Kenta steals the book cover off and returns it to him without his book cover. ELP then finds a fan with a sign. On one side, it says, ELP is my daddy. And then on the other side, it says, Kenta's book is getting a second printing. So that's hilarious. What a sign. And they loved it. They get some 2 sweets from Kenta and El Phantasmo. And that was a great, fun match. Not exactly a classic match, but it was entertaining. And it had 4 elite wrestlers hitting nice moves throughout a nice, entertaining match. So we've got a tag team match next, 2-on-2 style. It'll be David Finlay and Hiroshi Takahashi. Sorry, let me start that again. David Finlay and Hiroshi Tanahashi. And they'll take on the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson. Last night, the Budokan saw Tanahashi and Finlay reunited against familiar foes, the Good Brothers. Thanks to expert bebop tag team combinations alongside Yano last night, Gallows was pinned and embarrassed. The Good Brothers are out for revenge this evening, with Anderson heading into the bout as never openweight champion, and him and Gallows hold the Impact Tag Championships. So those going to be plenty of incentive for the Rebel and the Ace to pick up the win tonight. Go Ace plays as Tanahashi comes out with David Finlay. Then the Good Brothers' great music plays as they come out. Carl Anderson's now calling his custom never open weight title the Bullet Club Championship. It has the Bullet Club logo crudely taped to the front of the title belt with 2 sweet side plates, also crudely taped. They hold up the Impact Tag titles high as well. And I love that we get to see so many different companies partner with New Japan. We even saw the Impact women's title, the Knockout title in WWE as well this year when Mickie James brought it to the Royal Rumble. So it's just one big wrestling world, and it's great to see all this stuff happening like that. Carl Anderson is going to start the match with David Finlay. Finlay already has a claim under his belt for the U.S. title. Could he get more title claims tonight with a big win? Anderson now pulls the hair of Finlay, who can't pull the hair back of Anderson because he has none. Gallows either, for that matter. Then Finlay counters the next attack, hitting some big strikes. Finlay ducks under a clothesline, but attacks Carl's arm and tags in Tanahashi. They hit a double team here and play air guitar and drums, which is cool when they do that. Carl then grabs Tanahashi's nose, eyes, and then hair, and Gallows now tags in. Tanahashi evades a corner lariat, but Gallows hits a big boot in response and multiple standing elbow drops. Then Gallows stomps on the knee, hits a fist drop, and applies a chin lock. The crowd's now clapping for Tanahashi to fight back. Tanahashi gets to his feet, but Gallows throws him right back down. Anderson now tags in, hits a scoop slam, and then gets all of a running senton. That crushed Tanahashi. Tanahashi's in a struggling in a bad way now as the crowd's clapping again for Tanahashi to get back in the fight. He does get up to his feet and hits strikes to get out of a chin lock. Carl grabs him by the hair, but Tanahashi's able to hit a dragon screw leg whip, and then both tag out. Finlay ducks under a Gallows punch, then hits multiple strikes. Finlay then hits multiple running uppercuts in the corner and hits a springboard forearm. The crowd's loving this one. The Gallows now blocks an acid drop attempt and hits a massive mafia kick here. Anderson now tags in, but Finlay hits a nice running back elbow, then tags in Tanahashi. Tanahashi fires up, hits a flying forearm, then knocks Gallows off the apron and hits body shots on Carl. Then Tanahashi hits a scoop slam and a middle rope somersault senton. Anderson's able to kick out at 2. Anderson then counters a sling blade with a nice looking spine buster, then knocks Finlay off the apron. The Good Brothers now hit a double team neck breaker on Tanahashi, but he's able to kick out at 2. Gallows now tags in. They look for the magic killer here, but Yano's out here squirting some kind of substance into the ring. Gallows gives chase and chases Yano all the way to the back. And then Finlay hits a stunner on Anderson, followed by Tanahashi hitting the sling blade. Gallows is still gone, and then Tanahashi goes up to the top rope, hitting the high fly flow on Anderson for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Hirooki, Tanahashi, and David Finlay. So, wow, does this mean Tanahashi will fight for the never openweight title? And could Tanahashi and Finlay also have a claim for the Impact World Tag Team titles as well? So maybe both Tanahashi, both these men, Tanahashi and Finlay, might walk away with this titles having 2 title shots under their belt in the bank claims for. So big news there. It's time for the semi-main event, second to last match, only the finals of G132 after this one, and this is a big preview of the next title matches. So it will be Kushida and Tama Tonga teaming up, which if you asked me a year ago, and that Kushida and Tama Tonga would be teaming up in New Japan, I would have said you're out of your mind. They'll take on Bullet Club members Jay White and Taiji Ishimori, the 2 champions of their respective divisions. Tama Tonga's G1 Climax 32 came to an end last night at the hands of Okada, but sweetening the frustration of it was coming close to victory is the fact that Tama Tonga defeated the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Switchblade Jay White. There's no doubt that Jay White wants to right this wrong soon, and there's also no doubt that Tama Tonga wants to claim a world title shot. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Taiji Ishimori's assessment of Kushida is still ongoing with no official title match announced as of yet. There's still a chance for the Time Splitter to get a passing grade tonight after having a great run in America during G1 for both New Japan Strong and Impact Wrestling. So a nice preview of what probably is the 2 big title matches that come next. And this is going to be a good one in the semi-main event. Kushida's music plays and the crowd gets super loud with claps, and only one more event with clap crowds until we get noise again, and the fans will be able to yell starting September 5th. And then, wow, Ishimori comes out before Tama Tonga does. So we're really hammering home that these are the next 2 title matches because Kushida came out first and then Ishimori. Tama Tonga now comes out. He's holding up his head high, knowing that he did his best, just fell short against Okada, and he still beat Jay White. So Tama Tonga still holding his head up high after last night's depressing defeat. It's still going to be depressing, but he's holding his head high, and the crowd absolutely loves Tama Tonga. So Kushida and Tama hug and smile as they probably realize that they never thought they'd be in this situation, but here they are. And things start to get serious now as Jay White's music hits, and he comes out next. Goto and Jado are also ringside as well. So Jay and Tama are going to start this match. The crowd goes absolutely wild when the bell rings, and Ishimori distracts Tama Tonga, allowing Jay to get control right away. Tama was about to fight back, but Jay is able to slide out of the ring and then back in, taking control again, or keeping it anyway. Tags in Ishimori now, and they both hit stomps on Tama. Jay distracts Tama here, allowing Ishimori to stay in control. Kushida then gets a blind tag and is able to surprise Ishimori with an attack. Now Kushida works over the arm, applying a deathlock on the legs right after that. Ishimori gets out of this, then counters 3 attacks in a row nicely and hits a buckle flatliner, sending Kushida's face right into the turnbuckles. Kushida then gets thrown out of the ring. Jay White sends Kushida into the barricade and uses the cables across the throat. Kushida then gets thrown into the barricade again, and then Jay doesn't even tag in, but the referee allows him to switch up with Ishimori. So Jay's the legal man now, back in the ring. He's hitting back elbows on Kushida. Ishimori tags back in, and they double team Kushida with Ishimori attacking the neck. Kushida now fights back and hits a body punch and a leg kick, but Ishimori rakes the eyes to keep control. Kushida now hits a handspring back elbow and is able to tag in Tama Tonga. Jay White tags in as well. Tama hits a drop kick, and Jay takes on Jay and then takes his shirt off. Tama then blocks a sleeper suplex. Jay blocks a Tongan twist, and Tama blocks a blade buster. Then Tama hits a shoulder tackle that knocks Jay down. Tama hits a corner splash and a backdrop suplex. He's signaling for the gun stun now, but Jay blocks that. Tama blocks a Blade Runner right after. Then Jay hits a nasty snap Sayuto suplex. Ishimori now tags in with a great-looking corner knee strike, then applies the yes lock on Tama Tonga, who's in the middle of the ring and in trouble now. Kushida's watching closely from the apron and see if he has to run in, but Tama's able to get to the ropes with using his power advantage to get to the ropes. Ishimori now hyperextends Tama's arm, but Tama hits the Tongan twist right after and is able to tag in Kushida, who comes in, I should say, with a middle rope chop and a running crossbody. Kushida then hits a Pele kick and a baseball slide to Jay White, who was on the outside of the ring. Kushida goes back to Ishimori, hitting attacks on his arm. Then they have a forearm battle here. Ishimori then goes to hit a handspring attack, but Kushida hits a basement drop kick right on the arm as he was upside down, and this hurt Ishimori's arm big time. Kushida now goes for the hoverboard lock, but Jay White runs in to stop this. Kushida's able to block the Blade Runner attempt, and then Tama comes in, hitting a Superman punch on Jay. Tama then follows Jay out of the ring, but Jay throws him hard into the barricade. Back in the ring, Ishimori counters a hoverboard lock attempt, hitting the Cypher attacky gut buster on Kushida. Ishimori looks to end it now, but Kushida rolls him up for the 1-2-3. The winners of this match by pinfall, Kushida and Tama Tonga. So, wow, now Kushida has a legitimate claim for the title shot. But right after the match ends here, Jay White is quickly in the ring, attacking Kushida from behind. He hits big punches to the head here. Tama's still taken out ringside. The Young Lions try to run in and help, but Ishimori throws them out of the ring. Then Ishimori applies the bone lock on Kushida. Tama now is able to run in, but Jay blocks the gun stun attempt. Then Kushida reverses the bone lock into the Border City stretch, which is very similar to the bone lock. And the Border City stretch was taught to Kushida by his Time Splitters tag team partner, Alex Shelley, who Kushida was just spending all month with while G1 Tour was going on. Tama keeps Jay from getting in the ring while this is happening, and Kushida will not let go of the hold. He's really laying it on thick here on the neck and shoulder of Ishimori. Tama now picks up the World Heavyweight title and holds it up high as the crowd goes absolutely wild. They really want to see Tama Tonga win the title, and I do believe Tama Tonga will win the World Heavyweight Championship in 2023. I don't think he's going to beat Jay White. We are going to get Jay White versus... Well, never mind. No spoilers. So anyway, Kushida finally lets Ishimori go, and the two Bullet Club champions now hold their titles up as they leave. Tama says that belt is mine, and then Jay White goes over the commentary and says, Ospreay doesn't summon me, I summon him. So that was in reference to Ospreay wanted Jay White to do commentary for the final, but Jay refuses to do so. But mostly because that finals match is next, and Jay White has to do a backstage comments section and then shower first. So before we get to the main event, let me take a quick drink. We have got the finals of G1 Climax 32 next. And I was out of drink. So, oh well. All right. G1 Climax 32 final match. Kazuchika Okada versus Will Ospreay. After 33 days, 20 events, and 86 tournament matches, it all comes down to Okada versus Ospreay. On January 5th, the Tokyo Dome saw them battle for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, where Okada won the title. Now they do battle at the Nippon Budokan for the G1 Climax 32 trophy and the claim of the best professional wrestler in the world. While Switchblade Jay White would protest that claim, among many others, including CM Punk, Jon Moxley, Bryan Danielson, and Roman Reigns, Jay White still will be awaiting to see who emerges with the main event shot for his title at Wrestle Kingdom. Ospreay has proven that his ability through looking around. He already holds the Rev Pro British Heavyweight title, the IWGP United States title currently, while Okada won G1 Climax 31 last year, then won at Wrestle Kingdom, and still is growing his legacy throughout this 50th anniversary year. Time and time again, the perfect game has been wrestled against Okada by his opponents, but time and time again, they have been turned away by Okada. Nobody knows this feeling more than Ospreay from their first meeting in Rev Pro in 2015, the 3 friendlies and chaos exhibitions, and now twice as feuding foes. It has been all Okada, who is 6-1. Ospreay's wrestled near perfect games and has been defeated by Okada each and every time. The one win that Okada can lay claim to was buried under the controversy of Great-O-Khan's assistance and the formation of the United Empire. That only stirs the stick in the craw of Ospreay even more, however. Just another reminder that as great as he thinks he isn't quite the best. Is this the day that changes? Will a new era start tonight, and will Ospreay and United Empire leading New Japan out of the darkest of the pandemic? Meanwhile, Okada's hunting for a G1 Climax win number 4, the leader of the 50th year in New Japan Pro Wrestling, carrying the legacy of Inoki in his ring gear, his moveset, and in his heart. Will he write more history as only the 4th man to win back-to-back G1 trophies, an inch closer to the Mr. October achievement of 5 summer trophies? If he can win tonight, it'll be his 4th. Or will his own historical achievement of being the first British G1 winner on this day that Ospreay finally beats Okada? And could he add the only trophy missing from his trophy cabinet in New Japan? So this should be epic. And it's so epic that Hiroshi Tanahashi and Masahiro Chono are at Japanese commentary. This has a big fight feel right here. The stars are out, and now we get a hype video that plays, and that really hypes this video even more. We see how Okada and Ospreay got through the tournament alongside highlights of them fighting each other in the past. Then Will Ospreay gets a special entrance with a special song and a video that plays before he comes out. In this video, it shows a book that has that written on it. It says the history of Will Ospreay. It opens up to show us a bunch of Will Ospreay's highlights of his career, and that was really awesome. And there we get to see that there's a ton of Will Ospreay fans in the crowd. Great-O-Khan is here too, and I do see later on that Jeff Cobb and Henare are here as well. So Ospreay's behind Ospreay, Great-O-Khan's waving the United Empire flag, and we've got a big fight field tonight. Maybe the new member of United Empire that Ospreay said will finally be coming out tonight, or maybe a huge return debut, someone leaving Chaos or Hantai. We don't know. Anything could happen here. Kazuchika Okada now comes out looking confident as ever. Right after Okada's introductions, he locks eyes with Ospreay, who doesn't flinch an inch and looks completely ready to take the top spot. To mark the historic crossover between New Japan and Stardom this November, Shiraya and Julia are here from Stardom, handing flowers to Ospreay and Okada. And this is where I see Jeff Cobb and Ospreay are here as well as they take the flowers outside. So I definitely think maybe something is fishy here. And the announcers did make it a point to tell us yesterday that Great-O-Khan has been good has a good record of not getting involved in matches lately. So all 3 United Empire members are out here. Nobody from Chaos. We'll just have to keep an eye on that. But this is going to be a good one. I have absolutely no clue who's going to win this match. Before the tournament started, I figured Okada was the favorite to win, but now I'm thinking Ospreay has a great chance to take the trophy home. The crowd gets super loud as the bell rings to start this match. So here we go. This is going to be a good one. Okada starts the match applying a headlock. Both men coming to this match are with bad necks, nowhere near 100% health, but both are equally hurt and both had bad necks. Ospreay is able to get out of this headlock, but Okada gets the headlock back on 3 times in a row. Ospreay showed some great technical skills and agility to get out, but each time Okada caught him back right away, representing all the wins Okada has against Ospreay so far. They get to the ropes, but no clean break from Ospreay. Okada ducks under the attack, however, getting a 5th headlock on to start this match. Ospreay gets out, then quickens the pace. He tries for big moves here and a quick running off the ropes and stuff, including an Os cutter attempt, but Okada blocks every single one of these moves, and now both men reset as the crowd goes absolutely wild. Ospreay has looked sharp so far, but Okada's matching his every step and is 1 step ahead of Ospreay. So the first time finalists such as Will Ospreay tonight are only 7 wins and 18 losses in G1 Finals history. That's a wild stat going against Ospreay. So no clean break on this one from Okada either, but his no clean break attack connects, hitting a big strike forearm to Will Ospreay's neck, and that was nasty and right to the damaged neck. Ospreay now Okada stays on the attack, but Ospreay ducks under a clothesline and hits a T Harris. Okada then goes out of the ring and is able to dodge an apron attack from Ospreay. Then Okada hits a big DDT to the mat outside the ring. Ospreay is now dazed, and that big shot to his head, which also crunched his neck badly. Okada now breaks the count, goes back outside, and hits a second big DDT on the floor outside. So wow, Will Ospreay is going to have to make a huge comeback in this match. We've just hit the 5-minute mark, and he's in trouble already. Ospreay gets into the ring at an 11 count here, showing that he didn't even want to use the full 19, but that might have been a mistake as Okada hits a neck breaker right away. Okada now applies a chin lock and transitions it into a straight jacket hold. Okada goes back to the neck, and then Will Ospreay gets to the ropes, going in desperation mode as he screams out in pain. So this is going to be a big 5-minute mark here, 5-minute span to see if Ospreay can avoid any more neck damage. But right after I write that, Okada hits 2 more big forearms to the neck and applies a chin lock again. Ospreay gets out, but then Okada dodges his attack. Okada now hits a big corner strike, but Ospreay counters the DDT attempt here with a vertical suplex. The announcers say Cobb and Okada had stood up right before the DDT was hit or tried to be attempted, and that was a warning for Ospreay that it was coming. So he's getting help here from his United Empires ringside. Ospreay then counters the next attack and hits a handspring kick, but Ospreay then hits a phenomenal forearm. Okada kicks out at 2 on this one. So this is exactly what Ospreay needed. If he can go the next few minutes without neck damage, he'll be right back in this one. They counter each other now back and forth as Ospreay hits a drop kick off the top rope to Okada that usually Okada does the other people. Now Okada gets knocked to the outside from that drop kick. Right after that, Ospreay goes up to the top rope and hits an absolutely unbelievable sky twister press right to the outside on the Okada, landing on his head and neck. And that was a thing of beauty, probably the best dive or top rope move in the entire tournament. Great stuff from Ospreay, who was able to take all the landing on his legs, preventing any direct damage to the neck himself, and also buying Ospreay another valuable recovery time. And now Okada's neck has been damaged in this match. So Ospreay goes to pick up Okada, but Okada sandbags Ospreay here. Okada tries to hit the landslide outside of the ring, but Ospreay is able to block it, and then Ospreay jumps off the barricade, hitting an Os cutter on the outside here. Wow, that was awesome. And that's 2 nights in a row that Okada failed to hit the landslide outside of the ring, and it cost him big time. Ospreay's now back in this match. After that, he did successfully have a 5-minute span here where he was able to avoid any neck damage. Everything's kind of even now. Back in the ring, Okada's able to kick out at 2, but Ospreay thinks about what to do next, drops a couple knee drops, and then hits a kick to the back. So Okada gets up, but Ospreay stays in control with big strikes here, and the crowd claps for Okada to make the comeback. There's still plenty more Okada fans here than Ospreay fans. Ospreay then applies a deep step over cravat, working over the damaged neck of Okada. But then Okada is able to absorb some big forearms and back body drops right after that. Right after that, then Okada hits a flapjack as well, kind of confusing Ospreay as if he's going to hit flapjacks or back body drops. That was a good move there. Ospreay now counters a punch. Okada, I should say, counters a punch and applies the money clip. Ospreay's immediately screaming in pain with this hold, cranking his neck. Ospreay's able to get out, but Okada hits a backbreaker and reapplies the money clip again. 15 minutes now have passed. All that good work Ospreay did in the last 8 minutes or so have now gone up in smoke as he's caught in 2 straight money clips. Eventually, Ospreay is able to get to the ropes to break the hold, but the damage has been done. Okada hits a scoop slam and goes up to the top rope, hitting an elbow drop, and then does the Rainmaker pose. So this is a critical moment here. What's going to happen? Ospreay knew what was coming, and as soon as Okada clutches for his wrist, Okada gets slammed into the turnbuckle, and Will Ospreay blocks the first Rainmaker attempt. Okada hits a big forearm and an uppercut in response, but Ospreay gets thrown into the corner hard, whiplashing his neck right after that. Okada now fires up, but Ospreay fires up Ospreay with paint brushing shots to his face and head. So Ospreay then hits Kawada kicks and chops, but Okada fires up now, hitting a shotgun drop kick. Ospreay then hits a big lariat right after that, and now both men are down as the crowd's going wild. They both end up on the apron now. Okada blocks a pile driver twice in a row and then back body drops Ospreay hard. That looked nasty, right onto the apron. Ospreay is able to block a landslide attempt on the apron here and then hits an Os cutter. So big move here. Okada didn't quite hit the apron with his face, but it cranked his neck hard on this move. So that's a big move. Both men are now laying on the outside as the referee starts a 20 count. Ospreay gets in fairly quickly, but Okada takes him until the 19 count. Then Ospreay leaps off the ropes with a drop kick right after that when Okada got in, immediately hitting the top rope drop kick for a 2 count. Ospreay then goes back up top for a forearm right to the back of Okada's neck. Ospreay then hits the Os cutter, but is too slow to make the pin, and Okada has enough energy to kick out. Ospreay answers back with a big hook kick to the face, but Okada is able to block the Stormbreaker here. Okada then hits some lariats while holding the wrist. It's not the ripcord version, though. Okada hits the wrist control still and lifts Ospreay back up, hitting another lariat. But Ospreay is able to block the ripcord Rainmaker version. Then Okada blocks a move, hitting a drop kick with it. Ospreay evades a drop kick right after that and tries to hit an Os cutter, but in midair, Okada hits a drop kick, blocking that. Okada now hits a spinning tombstone and then tries for the Rainmaker, but Ospreay counters it with a forearm shot and then hits a big hook kick. Then a nasty Chelsea grin to the back of Okada's neck, and Okada blocks the hidden blade attempt with a drop kick here. So Ospreay then counters and hits a cradle gotch style pile driver. 25 minutes had passed now. Ospreay hits the hidden blade here, but Okada is just barely able to kick out, having fire in his heart to kick out here. Ospreay now goes up to the top rope and hits the high fly flow of all things, but Okada kicks out again. So Ospreay picks him up and hits the Styles Clash. So Ospreay is using finishers that have beaten Okada in the past. Okada just barely kicks out at 2 off of the Styles Clash right after the high fly flow, right after the hidden blade. And that almost won the match here. Okada's in big time trouble. Both men are down as the crowd wills them to keep fighting, and they're going wild. Ospreay thinks of a game plan now, points his finger just like Kenny Omega, and hits a big V-trigger knee strike. Ospreay now lifts Okada up. He's looking for the one-winged angel, but Okada counters it and hits a landslide, then hits the Rainmaker. The crowd goes absolutely wild when Ospreay is able to kick out at the last millisecond. Both men are down now. Ospreay has a mean look on his face as he's looking to get wrist control. Okada had the mean look, like he was wanting to kill Ospreay here. He gets wrist control, but Ospreay fights it off. Both are still laying on the mat. Once they get up, Ospreay fights off the wrist control again. Okada just hits a German suplex instead, but Ospreay is able to counter the Rainmaker attempt with a one-man Spanish fly. What a match we got here. 30 minutes have now passed, by far the longest match of this tournament. Okada kick out with instinct here. How much does he have left? Both men are now down for a while. They both start hitting each other with forearms while still on the mat. They stare each other down and get to their knees, hitting more forearms. Ospreay hits a huge one. The crowd's going wild here. They both get to their feet now. Okada hits a big forearm, and a huge forearm battle breaks out. Ospreay is getting super fired up here. They go back and forth, and Okada goes down to a knee. Okada gets back up, hitting an uppercut. Then Ospreay hits a big kick, but both men go down again. Ospreay then counters, Okada counters the next move into the air raid crash neck breaker on that badly damaged neck. But Ospreay gets right back up, and Okada ducks underneath the hidden blade and right after underneath a roundhouse kick. But then looks to hit the Rainmaker Lariat, but he hits the Enziguri instead, does Okada. Ospreay counters the Rainmaker right after that with a pop-up punch. Then Okada counters a hidden blade with a slam. Then he hits the Rainmaker Lariat. Ospreay probably had the heart to kick out, but his body was done. The referee counts 1, 2, 3, and your winner of this match by pinfall, Kazuchika Okada. Wow, what a match. I had no idea who would win this or when. Both men are absolutely exhausted and hurt on the mat. Great O'Khan has his hands in his head in disbelief. Neither man can get up. The Young Lions ice them down. What a match we've just witnessed. Okada winning again. The referee checks on him, and the announcer says if Ospreay would have hit the one-winged angel, it could have been over, but he couldn't hit it. Ospreay wrestled a great match here, but again falling short to Okada, now going 1-7 against Okada. So many times during this tournament, people wrestled the match of their life against Okada, and only JONAH was able to beat Okada with help of a 400-pound torpedo splash, being the only move that Okada couldn't kick out of the entire tournament. Okada has now proven all the doubters wrong, all the trash talk that Jay White had for him during the Dominion title match. And now Okada will have his chance for revenge against Switchblade at Wrestle Kingdom 17. JONAH might have the claim for the briefcase, but we also know he's about to get a huge money contract from WWE. He might never show in Japan again. Okada now showing remorse and love here for his former student, Will Ospreay, who's still down to the mat. Eventually, they get Ospreay out. He rolls out of the ring and sits in the barricade, super dazed, as he watches Kazuchika Okada get his trophy and the G1 flag. As the G1 Climax 32 winner, Okada wins his 4th G1 in his history and 2nd in a row. Ospreay leaves heartbroken, with the rest of his body broken as well. He'll have only a short 6-day turnaround until Will Ospreay's in the first round of the AEW Trios tournament on Dynamite this Wednesday. What kind of shape is he going to be in? Okada gets on the microphone for the fans who are going wild with their claps, and Okada says, "Thank you all for the hot support during the hot summer. Ospreay, unbelievable. You gave me all the heat I can handle, but you can come at me as many times as you want. It's going to take more than that to beat me. Thank you, everyone, for making part of this. That was part of this month-long journey as we go through all of our life struggles in the pandemic still. Thank you for being here with us. I've been in G1 11 times now, but this was damn tough. I won this year going back to back. I wasn't sure if after last year was quite the level it should be. I held the briefcase all the way through the Wrestle Kingdom. And I don't think it should be something that should be passed around like a title belt. It should only be fought for once a year in the G1. It's not a stepping stone. So I will elevate the status of this G1, and I will elevate the status of the title shot. To do that, I will make sure I'm in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom 17. I will take everyone's spirit from everyone that fought in this tournament, and I'll carry it in the January 4th. I know Tetsuya Naito's listening right now. He wants to be one of those challengers. But to sell out the Tokyo Dome, I'll be pushing harder than ever so that everybody knows what we can do, that all the people can fall further in love with professional wrestling throughout the final 4 months of the year. All I can say to you is thank you. To make you all fall deeper in love with pro wrestling, I'll do all that I can to sell out the Tokyo Dome. Make sure you cool off after the hot night of wrestling, and I'll make it rain the rest of the year. Then confetti shoots all over the ring. Okada's music plays as the crowd goes wild. Okada poses with pictures for the trophy, and what a great promo to end the night here. Okada said he did hate defending title shots, but yet acknowledged that Naito wants to get in there. So we do find out a little bit further as Okada's about to talk in the back and explain that further, but we'll find out what that means. Okada might not have to defend it, or he might defend it. We're not quite sure yet. So anyway, what we do know is that he wants to do everything he can in the next 4 months to sell out Wrestle Kingdom. In the back now, all of Chaos are there to congratulate Okada with beers, and then Okada says, "I feel rough from all the last month, but winning makes everything feel better. I gave it my all, and I'm happy for that. First, all the way through the monster block, and then the final in Ospreay was all tough. Ospreay gave it everything he had, but thanks to the top battles I had, I was sharp in the finals against a really tough Ospreay. He was moved from my prior opponents. Maybe I got in the Ospreay's head, and in the end, that's why I hit the Rainmaker. It was a worthy match for the G1 final. I was the one to come up with the idea of the title shot contract. Only one time has it changed hands, but the idea of defending the contract after going through G1 makes you rethink the meaning of what G1 is. Why not instantly say that the G1 winner is automatically in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom? In the meantime, there should be room for a challenger to get in as well, but the G1 winner should be in the main event. Last year, I heard that we weren't able to fill Budokan. This year, it's still not sold out. But everyone here that did show up showed their support, and we were able to return the fire with that, bring it back to you. And I expect we'll move forward one step at a time. Next month, the fans will be yelling again, and we're looking forward to their support. And then the event ends. So, wow, this was a great G1, great finals. Some people might have been a little bit down on this G1. I've seen a lot of that chatter online, but maybe they didn't get the full G1 experience. I know it's tough. Everybody has a lot to do in their lives, and the economy's down. You got to work more and more hours. It's hard to get the full experience, but trust me, as someone that watched every minute of G1, I wrote down notes for every single minute, and I took notes and did backstage comment videos. So if you sat here and watched every match from this G1, you watched every comment backstage, you really felt that this was awesome. You felt satisfied. I don't think you would have been let down I don't think you would have felt that you wasted your time at all. Really, really good stuff. So I think you would have felt rewarded with all the great stories and matches. Everything felt important. It really made you feel like you're watching the best wrestlers in the world. Of course, there's some exceptions that of people who are great that weren't a part of it, but it still felt like a very, very high level of wrestling for 20 events through a 5-week span. It definitely felt like a big deal. So what more could you possibly want? In the end, Okada was the favorite to win before it started, and it was in doubt at many times, but Okada was getting destroyed match after match. The story that Okada had to prove to Jay White that he's not out of his prime meant that Okada always had to win this G1 because of the fact that Okada is far from being out of his prime. So it will be interesting to see if it stays a one-on-one match. That whole talk about Naito was kind of weird to bring up. And that has been Naito's whole story for 2 years now, that he wants the Wrestle Kingdom main event. So it's just going to be really a pivotal 4 months here. We only have one event that's televised on September 2nd. That's the last one, hopefully ever, that's a clap-only crowd. Once we get to September 5th, which is the next televised event on NJPW World, we'll finally have yelling crowds. And I heard, yes, it'll be a little bit less capacity so that they're allowed to do that. But what they're doing instead is having everybody form fan sections. So like all the Bullet Club fans will be in one section, all the Chaos fans, all the United Empire fans. So it'll really feel like a sporting event, and it'll be really cool. So I'm looking forward to that on September 5th. There's really not too many events in September overall. There's maybe only 4 or 5 events. And then we start getting to some of the bigger special events. I know we got Royal Quest in England. We've also got the Rumble in 44th in New York City. And then there's a historic crossover event in November with Stardom. So 3 big events on the horizon as well. I wonder when Tama Tonga is going to fight Jay White. They're going to have to fight, I think, before Wrestle Kingdom sometime in the next 4 months. Also, we'll probably get the Taiji Ishimori Kushida match before Wrestle Kingdom. I don't think they're going to draw that out all the way to Wrestle Kingdom, but you never know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the United Empire new member. Don't forget, Will Ospreay said that United Empire is a new member coming in, and I can't wait to see who that's going to be. It'll be interesting to see if people ever return, like a Tom Lawlor, like a JONAH, if Archer ever returns. Finley, he's been doing good stuff here. Really great performance in the G1 for him. Will he be going for the Carl Anderson never open weight title? But it looks like Tanahashi's going to have the first title shot. but I could see Finley winning the never open weight title soon. Somebody like a Juice Robinson, is he going to challenge for the United States title again? We also know that Finley has a United States title shot coming as well against Ospreay. Ospreay said he will never wear the United States title around his waist until he beats Finley, who beat Ospreay in the G1. So a lot of big storylines coming up. Unfortunately, I was really hoping we could get the IWGP tag team titles defended by FTR at the big pay-per-view in a couple weeks, all out for AEW. But unfortunately, they're stuck in a 6-man tag where they won't defend any of the 3 titles they have currently. So it'll be it's kind of ridiculous that FTR, I don't think they've even defended the titles once. So they really what was the point? I get like FTR has had the best year as a tag team, so it makes sense to put the titles on them, but they should really be defending them, even if it's in AEW. So the junior heavyweight titles, it looks like maybe the next. Don't forget, it's Akira Francesca and TJP currently are the new champions. I could see probably Bushi and Hiromu Takahashi being challengers, but there is a new junior heavyweight tag team coming up. It is Master Wato, who has now left Taguchi, and Master Wato is going to form a tag team with Alex Zane. So that's going to be a great looking team. One with the red hair, one with the blue hair. They're going to have like a red and blue yin yang type gimmick going on. So that's a new thing to look out for in the junior heavyweight division. Lots of stories coming out of this. Is Ishii almost done? Is Yano ever almost done? Goto's been having a career resurgence. What's he gonna do? He's still got the never open weight 6-man titles. So who are they gonna defend the titles against next? I would love to see Yo getting more and more action. Yo has some of the best hot tag offense in all of New Japan right now. But really, Tama Tonga, he is going to be the breakout star of 2023. He's already kind of been the breakout star of this year. Tama Tonga will have the world title in 2023. He's not going to win this title match against Jay White, I'm assuming, before Wrestle Kingdom. If that title match happens after Wrestle Kingdom, then Tama Tonga might win the title at that point. But if that match happens before Wrestle Kingdom, Tama's probably losing, but sometime in 2023, I could see Tama winning. The crowd absolutely loves Tama Tonga. And I think that'll be something fresh. Like, they don't want to have like Okada and Tanahashi and everybody like that have the title over and over. Although you could just have Jay White have the title for a long time. I'm thinking Okada wins the title at Wrestle Kingdom. Then we'll see what goes from there. But maybe Okada loses the title to Tama Tonga later on in the year or something like that. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what happens. Am I missing any titles? I think that's all of them. So there should be a lot of good things coming up. It'll be interesting to see like if SANADA and Taichi ever do anything with their rivalry. I mentioned at one point during the review throughout the G1 tournament that I wish SANADA and Taichi would form their own stable, and you could maybe put the Master Wato and Alex Zane with them. I feel like they'd be a good foursome. Maybe even bring in YOSHI-HASHI with them as well. So I think someone like a YOSHI-HASHI could benefit from getting out of chaos. See if he can do something with his career before he gets too old. I think he's getting to the best he's ever been. He's just about to turn 40. Another person that's just turning 40 right now is Shingo, and who also turned 40 recently is Naito. So we are kind of getting some of our favorites turning into their 40s now. Some of our other favorites, like a Tanahashi, are getting to the twilight of their career. Someone like a Kenny Omega is also at the twilight of his career, and you don't know if you'll ever see him in Japan again. So it's definitely interesting to see what's going to happen. I thought maybe Ospreay was going to win today. I thought maybe Ospreay was going to lead New Japan out of the pandemic and maybe beat Jay White and kind of become a babyface as he brings New Japan into the light. But like I said, the story really is that Okada has to prove himself, that he's not out of his prime and that the fans still love him. Everything Jay White was talking trash to him while Jay White was beating the absolute snot out of him for 45 minutes at Dominion, and then Jay White took his title through cheating means, of course. It wasn't a clean victory, but that just makes it even worse in Okada's mind and why he has to prove himself. So Okada was always going to win this G1. Okada's probably going to win at Wrestle Kingdom, but that's the story here. The bigger story in New Japan is who's going to be the one to take into the real next era. We got Jay White saying it's his era already, but it still is the Okada era, and he proved it tonight by beating Ospreay. If it wasn't Okada's era still, he would have lost to Ospreay tonight. Sure, Okada doesn't have the title, but Jay White, like I said, he didn't win clean, so it's not his era, not yet anyway. So it's definitely interesting. I would definitely like to see Kenta doing more. I wish Kenta was out of the Bullet Club and just kind of being by himself. I mean, he doesn't have a good relationship with Naito, but Kenta really does fit the LIJ, Los Ingobernables faction. I mean, that's the AEW one, Los Ingobernables. De Japon. Like, I think Kenta would be awesome in there, but we're not going to see that. So I wish they would change up a few things, but it'll be interesting to see where they go from here. So I'm going to get going. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning in throughout all of G1. And if you're looking to find anything else from G1, it's all up there. And I'll be here for every other live event for New Japan as well. So I'll be here September 2nd, September 5th, and anything else that goes on. I also cover New Japan Strong every Saturday. So you can find those on this channel. Give me a subscribe and a like so others can find it. And I hope you enjoyed G1 and my coverage. And that'll be it for now. So enjoy your time and enjoy your wrestling. Peace.